What's up YouTube? My name is Zach with Android Digest, and today we're going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. I'm going to have a bunch of comparisons and a bunch of close-up shots, and I'm going to let you know what tablet is worth your hard-earned money because these tablets have been going on sale quite a bit. I think you could probably find both of these tablets for under $300. So with all that being said, let's get right into the comparison and get this video going. So I just want to start off by just telling you a lot of the differences you're going to see between these two devices, and the first difference that you're really going to see is price. So the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, it retails for about $350, while the Tab A7 retails for about $229. Now, one big difference between the two is storage. So the Tab S6 Lite does have 64 gigs of storage in the base model, while the Tab A7 only comes with 32 gigabytes of storage in the base model, but you can expand storage in both devices with a micro SD card slot. Now, one other difference between these two devices is going to be brightness. So the Tab S6 Lite gets about 100 nits brighter as far as the screen goes, but you're going to get the same resolution between the two displays. And the Tab S6 Lite does come with an S Pen, so that is a pretty big difference, and it also comes with 1 extra gigabyte of RAM. So right off the bat, I just wanted to let you know the main differences between the two. You've got a little bit of a brighter screen, you've got a little more storage on the Tab S6 Lite, and you do have the S Pen and 1 extra gigabyte of RAM. Now there are some minor differences, so now I want to go into a little more detail. So I want to start off by going over the design. If you take a look at the Tab A7, you're going to notice there's 2 speakers on each side of the tablet, which is sort of surprising for a budget tablet, and you do have a headphone jack right there. Well, the Tab S6 Lite, it actually has 1 speaker on each side of the tablet, but it also does have a headphone jack as well. So you are going to get 1 extra speaker with the Tab A7, and you're also going to notice that the camera, the front-facing camera, is actually on top of the tablet when you're in landscape mode. So that's another difference between the A7 and the S6 Lite, and in a way that's actually 2 upgrades that you're going to get over the more expensive device. So that is a big bonus to have in the Tab A7. Now, both of these devices have similar bezel sizes, so that's not really a big thing. They might be slightly smaller on the Tab S6 Lite, but not really that much. And both tablets do not have a fingerprint sensor or a fingerprint scanner, so you are going to have to work with Face Unlock, which does not work very well on either one of these tablets in my opinion. So you may have to rely on a PIN code, or you may just have to forego security, which is sort of what I've done on my device. I just double tap to wake it up and I get right to work. Now when we take a look at the display, you're going to see this Tab A7, it has an IPS display. The Tab S6 Lite has a TFT display, but again, the resolution is about the same between the two. It's a 2000 by 1200 resolution on both tablets, but the Tab S6 Lite does get about 100 nits brighter, so that is a consideration for you. Now I can use the Tab A7 and get about 75% brightness, and that's enough for me. I don't have to crank it up to 100%. So the Tab A7 is bright enough in my opinion for your average person, but it is nice to have that extra brightness boost that the Tab S6 Lite provides. Now as far as performance goes, you're going to see 2 different processors, but shockingly, they're going to perform very similarly. So the Tab A7 comes with a Snapdragon 662, while the Tab S6 Lite has an Exynos 9611. And if you're wondering how they compare, it's very shocking to me that the Tab A7 actually has similar benchmarks right along with the Tab S6 Lite, so they go hand in hand with each other. They're just about as fast as one another. Now the Tab S6 Lite does have 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the Tab A7 only has 3. So that's really going to affect your multitasking. So if you're doing a ton of different things at once, the Tab S6 Lite might be a better option for you. The Tab A7 still is very good with multitasking in my opinion, don't get me wrong, but that extra gigabyte of RAM can play a difference if you're doing a ton of things at once. So that's an interesting trend with the Tab S6 Lite and the Tab A7. They have similar screen quality and similar performance. The only real difference is the 1 gigabyte of RAM, and again, in the display, you have a little bit more brightness in the Tab S6 Lite. Both tablets charge with USB-C, and they use USB-C 2.0, and neither one of them have Samsung DeX. And you cannot connect either one of these tablets to a monitor. And both tablets actually have the same battery size, which is a 7040 milliamp battery. So there's not really that much else to say except that the Tab S6 Lite comes with an S Pen. So that's the one other difference you're going to see between the two devices. So the S Pen is great if you want to draw, if you're going to use that for taking notes and things like that. So that is another big bonus. So when we factor all this in, I generally see the Tab S6 Lite for about $100 more than the Tab A7. So for $100 more, you can get an S Pen, which is a pretty cool thing. You can get 1 gigabyte more of RAM, which helps with multitasking if you're doing a bunch of things at once. You can get a brighter screen, about 100 nits more of brightness, and you could also get more storage, and that may be a really big deal to you because you might want to put a lot of apps on your device, and even if you get an SD card, it is a really big bonus to have that extra storage on hand. So that's a lot of extra things to give you for that extra $100. I know prices can vary by country. If you use the links in the description, it'll take you to the Amazon page for your country. But you might be wondering, is it worth it to spend that extra $100? And surprisingly, I'd say, well, it is a good value to spend the extra $100, but it really does depend on the person. So for me, I use my tablet for casual reading of the news and for YouTube, and those are the two primary purposes that I use my tablet for. The Tab A7 was plenty bright enough. I didn't really need more storage for apps or anything like that, and I could always expand with an SD card if I need to. I also don't use the S Pen at all, so I didn't need the 1 extra gigabyte of RAM for multitasking because I don't do a lot on my tablet. I didn't need the S Pen because I wouldn't use the S Pen, and the Tab A7 gets bright enough for me. So even though those are a lot of bonuses to get for about $100 extra, the Tab A7 actually fit my needs very well. And for about $150, which is what I got it for on sale, that's a heck of a deal. And with the holiday sales being over, maybe you're going to see it for around $180. Maybe it'll go back up to $229, and that's understandable. But when I got it, I thought it was a heck of a deal, and even at $229, it is much better than last year's Tab A model. So I think it's a great upgrade and a great tablet to buy. But if you're going to use the S Pen at all, if you are going to multitask on your device and you would like a little bit of a brighter screen, at that point it is probably worth splurging and spending the extra $100. Now keep in mind that neither one of these tablets are going to be beasts for productivity. If you are going to do a lot of productivity stuff, you might want the Tab S6 or the Tab S7. They are going to have Samsung DeX, which is like a laptop interface that can really help you multitask a little bit better on your tablet. And of course, it's going to be a blazing fast tablet. It's going to be faster than either one of these tablets. So keep that in mind. The Tab S6 or the S7 are great, or even the Tab S7 Plus for those of you who really want a ton of productivity. But if you're wanting to save some money, if you're wanting a budget tablet, you can't really go wrong with either of these devices. I recommend them both, and it really just depends on your needs. Hopefully this comparison has helped you make that decision. Give me a like and a sub if you wouldn't mind. It would really help me out as I am a small YouTuber and I really am trying to grow my platform here on YouTube. And hey, I'm almost up to 10,000 subs, so I would love to get there soon. Thank you all so much. Please stay safe in these crazy times, and I hope to see you soon.